Coffee and Convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider Man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, I see every single one of you guys. Make sure you wipe them feet around here. That means get those likes up and also hit that subscribe button. If you guys are not subscribed yet, we're right around the corner from 30,000 subscribers. We cannot do that without you guys. Also, salute to everybody listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I appreciate you guys. This will go up right after the live is up on YouTube. And I see Green Dot Gang is heavy in the building already. Salute to Delano on becoming a member as well. If you guys want to become Green Dot Gang, hit the link. It's pinned up top, like my guy Delano. I appreciate you, my brother. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network. A lot to talk about today, you guys. We're going to talk about Pete Carroll's presser yesterday. Gave some interesting takes. We're going to talk about some veteran quarterbacks that we could potentially bring in to take over Aiden O'Connell's spot. We know that he fractured his wrist. Aiden will be gone for at least 5 to 8 weeks, I believe. I think that's the timeline that Pete provided for us. So he'll be gone for a while. He will be placed on the IR. And then we'll see where we go with Aiden O'Connell moving forward. But I don't think that they trust Cam just yet. Cam Miller, our first-year guy, 6th rounder. He struggled in preseason outside of that first week against Seattle. So they're trying to bring in a proven vet to back up Geno just in case something happens. God forbid. God forbid. Salute to AR, my guy, man. Salute to the GOAT of content, my brother. And y'all haven't heard Graph's new track, go blast that on your speakers, maybe your girls or side chick speakers. Salute to my guy, AR Bowling, man. I appreciate you. Yes, run those numbers up on that new OakLosVegas anthem. I appreciate everybody for listening. I know once game day comes around, people are going to be blasting it out at the J lot, H lot, all that good stuff. So salute to everybody, man, that's been running those numbers up. Yes, Takari, I just seen that. I'm a Kyle McCord guy. He had a wonderful season at Syracuse last season. I got a chance to interview him during the Shrine Bowl week. Really good kid. But I do not see the Raiders adding another young quarterback. Once again, he's not ready yet. Philadelphia has a laundry list of quarterbacks. It looks like, Jalen Hurts is the starter, but then they got Tanner McKee, who's the backup. And then they got Sam Howell as well that they brought in through a trade. They moved on from DTR. We're going to talk about that here as well, and then Kyle McCord also. So they had a million quarterbacks out there, and Kyle McCord got the axe. And I think that he will get picked up somewhere, probably placed on someone's practice squad, and they'll develop him behind the scenes. Once again, still very raw talent, former Ohio State guy, transferred over to Syracuse where he had a phenomenal year last year. But once again, I don't think that the Raiders are looking to add another young quarterback right now. I think they're looking to add, a proven vet. I know Vinny B put out there that potentially Ryan Tannehill. I don't see that, you guys. I mean, Tannehill was 37 years old. I don't think that he's played a snap since 2023 out there in Tennessee. I don't see why we would bring him in. Once again, he had a good career, former most improved player, him and Geno. I think that'd be the first time, right? I could be wrong, you guys. But if we did bring in Ryan Tannehill, that'd probably be the first time that you'd have two comeback player of the year quarterbacks on one roster. But it also probably make us one of the oldest position groups in football, with Geno being 34 and Ryan Tannehill being 37. But once again, former comeback player of the year in 2019. I believe Geno did the same thing in 2022 out there in Seattle with Pete Carroll. But I don't see this being an option for us at all. We said this during the live for the game as we did the watch party and prior lives as well. Tyler Huntley makes a ton of sense. He was just cut from the Cleveland Browns. Athletic, can use his legs. He could be a great backup to Geno Smith, former Pro Bowler. I don't know how the hell that happened. I mean, that year, I think he only played in like 6 games and had like 3 touchdowns and 2 picks, or 2 picks and, or what was it, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks? I don't know, but that would be the role that I would go with. A Tyler Huntley, potentially a DTR. He's a Las Vegas guy, Chip Kelly guy from UCLA. I know up to this point, you know, in his young career, 1 touchdown to 10 picks. That is nasty. I understand a lot of people's concerns with potentially bringing in DTR, but he has played with some bad teams. That Cleveland team was terrible. Wasn't really put in a good situation out there. I think he knows what Chip wants schematically out of his quarterbacks. I think DTR would be a good pickup. Once again, you know, I'm not expecting him to come in and light the NFL up if something happens with Geno Smith, but a guy that has a proven track record with Chip Kelly from their time in UCLA and that knows what to expect within that system. So, but I'm looking at personally Snoop, Tyler Huntley, or a DTR potentially to bring in to back up Geno. I know some people may not agree with me at this point, but I think that both those guys, well, let me say this. Snoop, for sure, would probably be an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell at this point within that certain system, because once again, it's proven that Aiden is not, he does not have what it takes skill set wise, or even between the ears to get what Chip Kelly wants done within that system. So keep an eye on Tyler Huntley, a guy that was just cut from Cleveland. They have a million quarterbacks out there. It looks like they're going to carry 4. Flacco's the starter. Pickett's the backup, and then it looks like Gabriel's the 3rd guy. Shador is the 4th. I don't know how long that's going to last. I feel like this is a marketing technique for Cleveland, which is very smart. They hold on to Shador. They sell a ton of jerseys. You know, they make a ton of money off his likeness, and then at some point down the line, they probably cut him. You know, I don't think they're going to carry 4 for too long. You know what I mean? But honestly, I think that this is a marketing strategy with the Cleveland Browns to hold on to Shador. I mean, come on, 4 quarterbacks. What are we doing here? I don't think you need 4 quarterbacks. If you're going to keep Gabriel and have him as the 3rd guy, just keep him. Keep him. Hold on to him. But I think that you should allow Shador to go out there and search other avenues for another home because the guy wants to play football, regardless if he's a backup or not. Being 4th on the depth chart, that's kind of nasty work. Peyton says DTR will be fine as a backup. I agree. Once again, he's athletic. He's really young. I understand, once again, 1 touchdown to 10 picks. That is disgusting. But a guy, once again, man, that knows what Chip Kelly wants out of his quarterback. So I would have nothing against bringing in the DTR at this point. Salute to Stiley, my guy. I'm becoming a member as well. Appreciate you, brother. Real talk. If you guys want to become a member, like my guy, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on once again over here at OLV Raiders Network. You know, Jason, it was funny. I was trolling on Twitter the other day and Instagram. Derek Carr is still under the control of the New Orleans Saints. So I know he retired there, but I believe that they have control of him for the next year or so. So, you know, you're not going to bring in Derek Carr, and he's not going to be a backup for the Raiders at all, because you think bringing in Shador to back up Geno, you'd hear a ton of noise. No, bringing in Derek Carr and having him back up Geno would be insane. Every bad play that Geno makes, people will be screaming for DC to come in and be QB1. It wouldn't make sense at all. But once again, he's still under control by the New Orleans Saints. So no. Ryan, I think Teddy Bridgewater is the backup out there in Tampa Bay, right? I didn't see any updates of them moving on from him, but I believe that he's out there in his home state of Florida backing up Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. I think he's like the 3rd guy. In that positional group, I believe. It's him and it's Trask, right? Is it Kyle Trask, the former Florida Gator quarterback? I think he's number 2 on the depth chart. And I think that Teddy Bridgewater is number 3. So, yeah. And Brave, I can see that, right? You know, once again, Spytech, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer guy, you know, probably had his hand in drafting Kyle Trask. He has that prototypical size and height. If they move on from him, I can definitely see Spy Tech potentially being interested in Kyle Trask, a guy that he helped draft out there in Tampa Bay. Yeah, Mike. And according to PFF, he has some pretty high numbers out there. Yeah, I wouldn't be against this. Definitely need to add some more corner help within that group, because that is one of the scariest positional groups that we have on this team right now. You know, we're betting very high on Porter to go out there and get it done in year one. You're hoping that Stokes, you know, can kind of rehash that rookie season that he had out there in Green Bay. And then once again, you're kind of betting high on DCAM and a few of those other guys in year two. It's a nasty positional group right now. I'm not saying that I don't trust those guys, but we need more to that to that position for sure. Bray, this is the thing. Mike Hilton just got released from the Miami Dolphins. I think that says a lot about Miami, or not Miami, a lot about Mike Hilton, because Miami is very thin at the cornerback position. They just brought him in and Jack Jones. We could have had Mike Hilton before the Miami Dolphins picked him up. He's been on the streets in free agency for a while. I don't think the Raiders bring him in now. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Once again, this guy is a career nickel corner. I know that they want to see what Darnay Holmes can bring to the table. Maybe potentially Greedy Vance makes the roster. He had a really good game against the Arizona Cardinals. So maybe they look at him as well. Harper's still on this roster. You know, we'll see some Terrell Edmonds in that big nickel look. You know what I mean? But I don't think the Raiders are going to look anywhere towards Mike Hilton. They could have had him originally before he signed with the Miami Dolphins. Salute to my guy, Raider Ramon. AOC is out of the way, Chico. And once again, this is actually a good thing for both parties, right? You know, Aiden keeps a job. He's on the IR. That allows him, you know, a chance to you know, get right from that fractured wrist. And, you know, it gives the Raiders some time. It buys them some time to put them on the IR and figure out what they want to do with Aiden O'Connell. So I think this is a good situation for both parties. Aiden keeps a job for the time being, placed on the IR. The Raiders get a chance to bring in another veteran out there, whether it's through cuts or free agency. And then, you know, I think later on down the line, though, that the writing is on the wall. I think that once he comes back from the IR, the Raiders will release him and he'll go elsewhere. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to Andre as well on becoming a member. My dog. Appreciate you, man. Everybody's becoming members, man. I appreciate you. Green Dot Gang is growing heavy because of you guys, man. Salute to my dog, Andre Ashley. Appreciate you, brother. Kenny Clark. That is a guy that I can see potentially sneaking up and making the roster, the back end of that defensive end group. This dude has had a really good preseason, man. You know, the Niners gets a sack late in the game, does the same thing against the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be tough to keep him off of this roster, but we shall see. Maybe they try to place him on the practice squad and develop him a little bit more. You know, he does look really thin. I think, Kenny, he can, you know, use the weight room a little bit more. I don't know if you guys see it. You know, he's pretty tall, lengthy, but I think he can use a little bit more muscle. Playing against starting tackles and starting guards, they may push him around a little bit. I think he needs to put a little bit more muscle on him. But I would not be shocked if he made this 53-man roster, because he put together some pretty good tape in preseason. Let me see. Get some questions in, you guys. Salute to the chat. As always, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys wipe them feet and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, Pete did name JPJ the starting right guard. You know, for the time being, it looks as though, you know, Alice Kaplan, that rib injury set him back in terms of trying to find a starting spot on that O-line. JPJ is officially our starting right guard, which is great, because to me, he is the second best offensive lineman that we have behind Colton Miller. I'm still pissed off about, you know, him not playing center and Meredith being there, but it is what it is, man. Only time will tell, you know, how this thing looks on the offensive line. The ones did look good out there for that series with Geno out there, so I'm not upset at all about the way they're going about this. It looks like Colton will be the left tackle, you know, Dylan Parham left guard, Meredith center, JPJ right guard, and then DJ Glaze will be the right tackle for our Raiders. So, Sanho, I did see a tweet from him. I'm not sure if that meant that he was cut. I know that he posted some type of like Bible scripture, I believe. It was something like that. Let me see. I'm gonna look this up. He posted a scripture. Oh, nope. Well, he is gone. So Amari Ferrari, you guys, Amari Gaynor, breaking news, is gone. Thank you for everything, Raider Nation. Excited for the next step in this journey. So it looks as though we cut linebacker Amari Ferrari Gaynor, a guy that we were really high on last season, last off season. It looks as though he could have carved out a role on this team, but he just did not do enough in training camp and definitely did not do enough in preseason to find a way to make this roster. We are pretty deep at the linebacker position right now, with the emergence of Jamal Adams moving over to linebacker, with us bringing in Jermaine Pratt through, once he got cut from Cincinnati, bringing him through free agency, and then, adding a Landon Roberts and Devin White. I think the writing was kind of on the wall here. So, and Tommy Eichenberg has had a really good offseason. So it makes a ton of sense why we moved on from Gaynor. We did not have him, you guys, on our final 53-man roster, but maybe we can find a way to put him on the practice squad and allow him to develop a little bit more. It's only year 2. He is a physical specimen, definitely a talented football player, but just couldn't put it all together with all that talent that we have in that positional group right now. So it is what it is, man. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Salute to Amari Gaynor. Hopefully we find a way to place him on the practice squad and develop him a little bit more. Let me see. Salute to Tone Corleone as well, man. I'm becoming a member. I appreciate you, my brother. Salute to you, and salute to the 825 people in here watching this morning's Coffee and Convo. Salute to you guys. Wipe them feet. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Salute to Mr. Patrick B. Are we waiting to see who gets released to make a move? I can see DT, Dante Thornton Jr. being wide receiver 1 next season. Dude has hands, runs good routes, and the speed speaks for itself. He seems to know how to separate. It's funny, man, Mr. Patrick B. I love that you said he knows how to separate, because there's some people out there that their new narrative now is that he can't, he has a problem with separating. I have not seen that. They were even mentioning that on that play where he got that touchdown from Geno Smith. I mean, how much separation can you actually create when you're pretty much in the red zone? What was it, like a 15, 17-yard touchdown, I believe? I don't know how much separation you can actually create right there when you're in the end zone. Yes, he was facing a smaller corner in Denzel Burke, the former Ohio State guy, but you face who you face. And Dante went up there and made a miraculous catch, got both feet in, touchdown. I don't want to hear anything about him not being able to separate and blah, blah, blah. We already went over this whole limited route tree narrative that he's starting to kill off in year 1. I definitely agree with you. I think that he can somehow, some way find that wide receiver 1 role at some point. But right now, let's pump the brakes a little bit. That is definitely Jacoby's role. Jacoby is still the wide receiver 1. I think Dante Thornton would tell you firsthand he's still a rook. He just needs to go out there and show that he can constantly or consistently put good tape out there. So Jacoby is clear-cut your number 1. Brock Bowers is clear-cut, really your number 1. But Jacoby's like your 1B. But give Dante Thornton a little bit of time. The speed is there. The measurables are there. This kid is going to be dynamic for this offense. Chip Kelly is going to have a field day with him. He's a very talented wide receiver. But I definitely want to pump the brakes on him being the wide receiver 1 right now. And give Jack Best some time as well, because he does everything right. Blocking, route running ability, catching the football in traffic. He can do it all. So I want to pump the brakes on that. But I definitely am hyped about Dante Thornton. I'm really excited to see what he can do this upcoming season, man. Salute to my guy, Patrick B, with the $20 smackaroonie, man. Yes, 10 can definitely fly, Kenny. Facts. James, Graphk, Chat, and Green Dot Gang. Salute to my guy, man. Appreciate you, brother. You guys, let's stop with the whole Derek Carr situation. He is not coming back. He's not coming back. Eddie, I know we had a local tryout with our Raiders, and it didn't work out. So for those who are wondering who Malik Williams is, he is the former UNLV quarterback. He came in for a local workout and left without a job. So I have no idea where he is now, but good luck to him. Maybe he finds himself in the UFL or CFL or one of those leagues. But he came out for a local tryout and didn't make the team. Let me see. Get some questions in, you guys. salute once again to everybody here in the building. Yes, Pete Carroll did state that JPJ is the starting right guard opposite of Jordan Meredith at the center position. So at least we have, JPJ out there as a starter. I was getting a little worried there for a minute. It seemed as though he was, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like he was in the doghouse for a second with Pete Carroll in this new regime. But it's great to see that he's out there going to be starting right next to Jordan Meredith and DJ Glaze there at the right guard spot. I can't jump walls. So to my guy, Andre Carter or Snowden, Graphk, or both potentially. I'm taking Snowden. He's more of the proven talent, but I would like to keep them both because once again, you're going to see Tyree play a ton on the boundary and inside. You're going to see Tonka Hemingway play a ton on the outside and the inside. I would definitely want to bring in more of a defensive end by trade. And Andre Carter, if we can keep both those guys, we need some depth there. Snowden has proven that he can be a guy, a body in that room. I would love to add a Andre Carter as well. That'd be great. That'd be great. Slim, I agree with you. Snowden definitely makes some bonehead decisions sometimes, but hopefully, he gets a little better, between the ears this season. Last year, he definitely made some questionable moves outside of the DUI, off the field stuff. But I would love to keep Andre Carter and Snowden if possible. Bruce says, salute, Doc. Should we sign a number one receiver? No. Salute to my guy, Bruce. We have number ones. Brock Bowers is number one. Jacoby is a 1B. Dante Thornton is going to get a ton of reps. Trey Tucker is going to get a ton of reps. Jack Besh, this is going to be a committee thing, Bruce, in terms of the passing game. Michael Mayer is going to get a ton of looks. There's no reason to go out there and potentially try and sign a wide receiver one when you have all that talent there at your disposal for Geno in the passing game. So, no, I think we have a one in Jacoby, and we have a definite one with Brock Bowers, and then Mayer, Dante, Trey, all those guys are going to eat. We do not need to go out there and look at a number one. And right now, honestly, who's a number one that's available? I don't see a number one out there available at all. Amari Cooper, at this point in his career, is not a number one. You're not trading for one. I mean, Scary Terry just got a 3-year deal, like $96 million with the Commanders. He's officially signed back to DC. I mean, who's really out there that's available? You know what I mean? I think we're going to run with what we have right now, and this is going to be a committee in the passing game. Everybody's going to eat, including even the Ian Thomas, the third tight end on the roster. You know what I mean? Like, even he's going to get some looks. So there's no real reason to go out there and look elsewhere. There is some talks about potentially bringing in a Gabe Davis. He's a guy that can give you some more reps there in the slot if they think that Tommy Mellott is not ready to roll yet. Great blocking wide receiver, good route runner. Definitely has a case of the dropsies. I don't know if Chip Kelly is going to like that, but keep an eye on him potentially. There's some rumors of the Raiders potentially bringing him in for a visit and, potentially adding him to that wide receiver group. We shall see. Let me see. Yeah, 3-year, $96 million deal. And definitely earned. I think in the last 5 years, he's had over 1,000 yards receiving every single season, even with that terrible quarterback situation out there in Washington, D.C. before Jaden Daniels coming in. So Smack City, to be determined. Got to wait a little bit because I don't know who's getting cut yet. I see Kyle McCord was cut. I see Dorian Thompson Robinson was cut, DTR. I wouldn't have an issue bringing him in to potentially be the backup to Geno. Tyler Huntley, Snoop, we just talked about him. He was cut from the Cleveland Browns. He's a veteran that can come in and be your quarterback too behind Geno. But we have to wait a little bit. We'll get more cuts tomorrow. I believe 1 p.m. Eastern time is the time. There's going to be a ton of cuts tomorrow, and we'll see a lot more today as this thing plays out. But pump the brakes a little bit, Smack City. I got you. We'll definitely do a video tomorrow breaking down some of these guys that we would definitely bring in. But if I had to pick some positional groups, you got to add another corner. You could potentially add another safety. It looks like we're moving on from Gadi Azid, I believe, the tackle offensive lineman. So maybe you can add another one. It looks like Chris Collier is about to be cut as well. I know Scout put something on Twitter. I believe it looks as though we're about to waive Chris Collier. I think that they already know what they want to do with that running back group. But add another corner, add another safety, potentially add another defensive lineman, maybe add another offensive lineman to battle it out with some of these guys. But definitely a corner and potentially another safety. Got to keep building that back end of that defense. Tone, I'm not against that. I know that their head coach, Dan Campbell, came out and said that maybe it would be great for Hendon Hooker to, play elsewhere. Maybe he needs some new energy. I wouldn't be against that. He hasn't looked good out there in Detroit. I was really high on Hendon Hooker coming out of Tennessee. I wouldn't be shocked. But I think that Pete's going to go with more of a proven vet. I think that's why Vinny B mentioned Ryan Tannehill. This is why we're talking about, Tyler Huntley, veteran guys. You know what I mean? So, but I would love to bring in Hendon Hooker, maybe just selfishly because I'm a fan of him. Was definitely big on him coming out of Tennessee. I know the injuries kind of derailed his career, but would definitely take a look at Hendon Hooker. I would not be pissed off at all if Pete and company brought him in. Let me see. Is Nick Foles even still in the league, Cold Coffee? I don't even know if he's still in the league. Where was Nick Foles at last? Is he still in the league? I'd rather bring in a Carson Wentz than a Nick Foles. Nick Foles will be 37 in January. He hasn't been in the league and he hasn't played in a while. Last he was seen was in Indianapolis in 2022. So he's been out of the league for a while. I don't think they're going to look that far for a quarterback, a guy that's been gone for a long time. Would love it, Brave. A hooker in Vegas. It sounds right. It sounds right. Salute to Taino, my dog. One Nation. I know that he went. Did he officially sign with them? I know he went there for a workout. So, okay. So he just signed with Minnesota. Must have missed that one. Okay. But then that's a good pickup for them. Definitely can come in and back up McCarthy, young guy coming off a nasty injury, a proven vet in Carson Wentz. That's a good pickup for Minnesota. Nah, don't even look anywhere near Shiloh. I am a Sanders family fan, you guys. Shiloh was a good kid. I interviewed him a ton, got a chance to hang out with him at the Shrine Bowl week practices and at the game. He is such a good kid, but I am not a fan of his game. He is undersized. There's durability issues. Tampa Bay moved on from him. I know that people are using the punch as the reasoning behind why they moved on from him. I think they were going to move on from him anyways. He's undersized for the position. He's a hard hitter, but with that comes durability issues. So I don't want to look anywhere near Shiloh Sanders. I don't think that he even fits the mold of what Pete Carroll was trying to do there at the safety position. You see Jeremy Chin, you see Palomal. Those are lengthy safeties. I don't think that he's trying to bring in an undersized guy that doesn't really fit what they're trying to do out there in Vegas. Cash Lord, from what I was told and from what I've read, it looks like the Giants are not trying to move on from JMO. If they did, I would love to add him behind Geno Smith. That would be great. Phenomenal leader in the locker room, great teammate. He's a boomer bust guy that can go out there and give you 5 touchdowns in one game and 5 picks in one game. I would love it. But it sounds like the Giants are going to carry 3, Russ, Dart, and Winston. So I don't think JMO's going anywhere. Taino, there's only a few guys that you can look at, and we've already talked about it. It's Tyler Huntley, and we've talked about him for a few weeks here now. And then DTR, the Philadelphia Eagles just waived him. Former Chip Kelly guy, UCLA, Las Vegas guy, local dude. I can see us bringing him in. And then I know Vinny B mentioned, Ryan Tannehill, which to me doesn't make a ton of sense. Hasn't been in the league for a few seasons. He's long in the tooth, 37 years old. I don't think it makes any sense to bring in a Ryan Tannehill, but we shall see. We shall see. But those are really, to me, the 2 options that I'm looking at is DTR and Tyler Huntley at this point. Maybe a Hendon Hooker if Detroit parts ways with him. Maybe you can bring him in. Okay. So Foles retired, Solomon. Okay, yeah, I was wondering what was going on. I think that Green Bay holds on to Malik Willis. I do. I don't think they move on from him. He definitely has a specific skill set that is fun to watch. He can use his legs. He has a rocket for an arm. If Green Bay moved on from Malik Willis, I wouldn't be against it, but I think they're going to hold on to him. Last year he won him a few games, I believe, when Jordan Love went out. And I think that they like him as a backup out there. Let me see. Yeah, that's cool. We have Geno for 2 or 3 years. Facts, Joe. Oh, I like that. But you know what? Carl Joseph was a lot better. The hitman coming out of West Virginia. He was a first-round talent that year. He's a way better athlete than Shiloh, and that's no knock to him. Carl Joseph was really good, but once again, undersized, and those injuries definitely, started to pile up with the hitman. Yeah, Diva, my apologies. Sometimes I like to go a little earlier. I got other stuff to do today. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to do a 30-minute earlier and just get the ball rolling. So appreciate you for pulling up. Alzado, that's another name to keep an eye on, right? Jacoby Brissett. Clayton Tune looked good for Arizona that last game against us. Maybe he ends up winning that backup spot. I don't know. Or maybe they want to keep Brissett to back up Kyler Murray. But if they move on from him, I have nothing against bringing in a Jacoby Brissett, a guy that's started in a ton of games. He's been a backup all over the place. He is a proven talent. I wouldn't be against that if they moved on from him. But once again, I think he is the backup in Arizona, even over Clayton Tune. I think there's a reason why they didn't play Brissett against the Raiders. I think he pretty much is the backup, and then Clayton Tune is the guy that will be the third option or a practice squad guy for the Arizona Cardinals. It looks like Hendrickson and Bengals are talking. Negotiations have restarted with both sides exploring unique avenue to get deal done. So it looks like Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati are trying to get a deal done in the 11th hour before week 1. So stay tuned for that, you guys. That dream of us being the front runners may be dying here very soon. So, yeah, Fox, we had some fun with it, right? We had some fun with it, but DC is retired. He's retired. That shoulder injury, and once again, he's still under full control from the New Orleans Saints. Ernie, this week, brother, we should be running one potentially tomorrow. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Or maybe Wednesday or Thursday, because tomorrow is cuts. So I know we're all going to be pretty much live and doing videos on our own respective platforms. Stay tuned. We'll be back this week. Let me see. Yeah, I never, ever bought it. I just feel like sometimes these guys come out here and they want to have, the big headline to get their stuff rolling, especially in the slow time of the season when, we're kind of in that weird gap where it's like real football isn't here yet, but preseason is going on and it's still not a lot of energy around yet. I understood why I know what he was trying to do there. Let me see. I'm going to go to Twitter real quick, see what we got going on. I know Amari Gaynor is officially cut. LV, salute to my brother LV Maximus in the building. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Let me see what's going on. I know Scout probably is tweeting away. Yeah, we talked about Gotti, the tackle, about to get moved. We talked about Chris Collier about to be waived as well. It looks as though the Raiders are planning to move both of those guys. And then Amari Ferrari Gaynor actually put out a tweet himself that sounds like he is on the way out. So those are the three names that I see so far up to this point. So, yeah, Francis, I do too. He's a good kid, great teammate, took this offseason very serious in terms of getting his body together and really building that camaraderie with his teammates in the offseason. You hate to see it, man. You definitely do. Definitely sucks. But once again, man, hey, you can't do nothing about injuries, man. It's football. It's the NFL. This is what happens. Let me see. I do not think they move on from Will Howard. Somebody mentioned, okay, I think Lydia, is Will Howard getting cut? I don't think so. I know he's from the state. I believe he's a local guy. And, I think they want to develop him, have him learn behind Aaron Rodgers out there in Pittsburgh. I don't see them moving on from Will Howard. And to be honest, Lydia, we had an opportunity to draft him, up to the 6th round, I believe, right? Before he went to Pittsburgh. And Chip Kelly and company did not pull the trigger. So I don't think that they wanted to bring in Will Howard, regardless of them winning a championship, a national title in Ohio State together. It seemed as though Chip wasn't that high on bringing him in. They chose to go in a different direction, waited until the 6th round, took Cam Miller. Will Howard ends up with Pittsburgh. I know there was a lot of talks about Quinn Ewers being a Raider. I think he went to Miami in the 7th round. So once again, I don't think that Will Howard is an option for us. And also, I think that they want to bring in a veteran. And I think Pete kind of alluded to the fact they want to bring a veteran guy in to back up Geno Smith. Yes, he definitely put a tweet out there. Sounds like Amari was given his walking papers. So we'll see. But once again, Juju, there's nothing against if us potentially bringing him back and adding him to the practice squad. You know what I mean? So if no one picks him up, I think it makes a ton of sense to bring him in. He already knows the system. He's played there for a year, 2 off seasons already. If he, doesn't find a job elsewhere, put him back on the practice squad. So, somebody said, is Dorian Thompson a veteran? Well, he's 25 years old. He's been in the league already. This will be his 3rd season. So, I mean, technically he's still on a rookie deal, right? But, I mean, he's going into his 3rd year. I mean, do we consider Aiden O'Connell a veteran at this point? He's going into his 3rd year. If we're considering him a veteran, and that was the veteran that was going to back up Geno, I mean, why wouldn't DTR be a veteran? He already has, 15 games of experience. Once again, it's been pretty nasty. 10 picks, 1 touchdown. But once again, a guy that Chip Kelly is very, very familiar with. He was the starting quarterback at UCLA. So I wouldn't say a veteran, but this will be his 3rd year. So he has some experience at the next level. And also 15 games he started for the Cleveland Browns in the last few seasons with their starter going down. I know Deshaun Watson was injured. He had to go in there, was kind of forced, kind of thrown in to the fire, so to speak. So, and you guys, I'm not a DTR guy. I don't want people to think that I'm out here, going to bat to bring in DTR. I'm not. This is not that. But what I'm saying is it makes sense. It makes a ton of sense because of the familiarity with Chip Kelly. If they brought him in, I understand why they would. But I'm not a Dorian Thompson-Robinson super fan. I'm not saying go get him. Me personally, I'd rather have a Tyler Huntley. I'm a guy that has a few more years of experience over a DTR. So, but it makes sense for both of these guys. They're both probably going to be options for us here to bring in as the backup for Geno Smith. Salute to my guy, Russ. Salute, Graphk. I just copped ticks for my first ever Las Vegas game, October 12th. Still missing having the silver and black here in East Oakland, though. Raiders. Salute to my guy, Ross. And I may see you out there, brother. Congratulations. I love it. It's always dope to see my guys out there getting their first look at Allegiant Stadium. Have fun, brother. And I definitely miss our team playing in Oakland as well, man. So salute to my guy, Ross. Yeah, Sancho, this is the thing, right? The Pro Bowl doesn't matter anymore. I mean, he was like the 31st alternate that year. I think that's the same year where Derek Carr made the Pro Bowl, right? And he had a terrible year. Was that the year, I believe, where he was a Pro Bowler and DC was the Pro Bowler when he was on his way out, where it was really weird? The Pro Bowl was in Vegas and DC was out there. He got named an alternate. I think that was the same year where him and Tyler Huntley were guys. They both did not deserve to be Pro Bowlers. So, I'm not calling him Pro Bowl. Who gives a shit about Pro Bowl anymore? You know what I mean? Like, come on. I think Yao Ming is still being voted in as an all-star in the NBA, and he's been retired for like 20 years. You know what I mean? Them all-star games ain't shit. Salute the Demon King, my dog. Hey, Graphk, hope everyone has a blessed day today. You as well, my brother. And we got to link up soon. Hey, Jay, I found some tickets to Indianapolis, man, for $75 there and back for that game. Hit my line, bro. We got to tap in. If you really want to go to that game, let me know. Let me see. Slim says, if Sam Webb makes the roster, I will drive my car through the office Wednesday morning. Yo, yeah, man. I don't know how he continues to find a spot on this team. Honestly, like it's pretty rough seeing him still out there. The reporters just hope it sticks so they can say they were the first to report it. Yeah, Paul. Thank God I'm not a reporter, man. I'm not one of them people that wants to be first on anything or none of that. That's just not what I do. I just like to just talk about the game, talk about our team. That has to be anxiety driven, trying to be those kind of guys doing that kind of shit. Hey, man, Derek, man, in our specific scheme, definitely. I can definitely see him. He's more athletic. Chip can definitely utilize his legs. A guy that, if the pocket collapses, he can once again unleash that mobility. I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. He said, I saw Sam Webb get folded like an old lawn chair. Oh my God. LV, you already know, brother. And I'll be out there for the Cowboys game as well. I'm penciled in, brother. I will be out there November 17th. I'm coming out there for that Monday night game. We have to, Rich. I don't think this is a situation where you can just go out there and just add a quarterback and that's it. You definitely need to add another corner, potentially another safety. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if they added another wide receiver into the mix and maybe an offensive lineman if he fits what they're trying to do within that system with Chip Kelly and Brendan Carroll. So definitely keeping an eye on the waiver wire closely come Tuesday when all these cuts happen. Definitely the Raiders are in the market to upgrade this roster for sure. For sure. Let me see. Once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building. As always, appreciate you guys so much. This is the thing. I don't know how they can hold on to 4 quarterbacks. It's just really weird to me. Really weird to me. You know, I know that they're saying that that's what they're going to do now. I know that Shador believes that he's going to be on that roster. But I think that at some point they're probably going to have to cut another one, whether that's Shador or Dylan Gabriel or even Kenny Pickett. It looks as though Flacco is going to be their starter. They already named him the starter. Jose says, I miss having an elite wide receiver like Adams. Well, Jose, we have Brock Bowers. So no worries. We've watched, Kansas City, even when they moved on from Tyreek, have a ton of success in the passing game with Mahomes and Kelsey out there and not really a star-studded cast at the wide receiver position. You can win ball games without a superstar wide receiver, but Brock Bowers is our superstar pass catcher. So don't worry about it. And honestly, what kind of success do we have with Devontae out there? We didn't have a ton. So, I'm actually happy that we moved on from Devontae Adams. I hear what you mean. I know what you mean, though. The elite wide receivers of past. We had Timmy forever, brought in Jerry Rice. We had a ton of great names at that position, but I'm okay with what we have here right now. And once again, who's to say that Dante or Jack Besh won't develop into an elite wide receiver at some point down the line? Ron, it looks as though Amari Gaynor is on the way out. He put out a tweet. It looks like he's gone. Chris Collier and then Gotti, the tackle. I think those are the 3 guys that potentially are on the way out right now. I know scouts said that Gotti and Collier are being waived, and then Amari Gaynor kind of put it out there on his own on Twitter that it looks like he's on his way out. So stay tuned. There's going to be more names today, and there's going to be a ton of them tomorrow. We have to get down to the 53-man roster by 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Salute to my guy. We need a quarterback. AR. So I'm assuming he's talking about Anthony Richardson, which I don't see happening. You have to inherit that nasty first-round contract. You have to, sit him for a few seasons behind Geno while you're paying him an astronomical amount of money. I don't see it. We need a quarterback personally. But if they brought him in, I would root for him. I'm not a big fan of Anthony Richardson at all. Never have been. I just don't see it. I know that he has a cannon of an arm. I know that, he's a very mobile quarterback, but he leaves a lot to be desired in terms of the quarterback position for me personally. I don't see it. Salute to my guy. 10 Commandments. McDaniels OC will be extra motivated. We know his offense well. We should expect a couple of trick plays. Your thoughts? I can definitely see that. I think they're going to run the football a ton. They got Ramondre Stevenson. They got Gibson, Antonio Gibson, and they also have Trayvon Henderson. That's going to be their 3-headed monster at the running back position. I think they're going to run the ball a ton. Try to make Drake May's life a lot easier by getting the ground game going. We have to stop the run. It is on that defensive line and those linebackers to make sure that we keep that run game honest in New England. But some trick plays, I'm not really worried about. And I'm not too much worried about their skill players, not the running backs, but the wide receivers. Stephon Diggs, he is who he is. It sounds as though he's healed up and ready to go. But I'm not really afraid of that offense. Their O-line got a lot better. But I'm not worried about Josh McDaniels. Honestly, I think we should go out there to New England and beat these guys. I think it's going to be a close game because we're on the road, and it's a tough pill to swallow when you're traveling that far east, to win ball games, the time difference, and there's so many different variables there. But I think we beat them. This is going to be a close game, but I think we beat them in New England. Ben says, we have 4 game breakers. Forget Adams. Talk, my brother. This is facts, Ben. Dante, Tucker, Jacoby, Brock Bowers, and then now you got to add Besh, put Michael Mayer in there as well. We're going to have some fun this season. We do not need a Devontae Adams on this roster. Factory outlet. Joseph says Mumford, this is the thing. He may have had the worst game, you guys, out of anybody in that Arizona Cardinals game. It was tough looking at the tape, watching the film. He seemed really lethargic out there. He seemed like he didn't want to be out there. He seemed very, very lost at the tackle position. This is the thing. I don't think they're going to move on from him, though. But once again, because of the versatility that he possesses, he can play tackle both spots, left tackle, right tackle, but also he can play guard. So I don't think they're going to move on from him because of that. I think they were pretty thin at the guard position. I don't know if they really believe in Caleb Rogers in year one, the young kid out of Texas Tech. Also Charles Grant is still very raw, year one guy out of William and Mary. So I think they're going to hold on to Mumford because of him being able to play both spots. So yes, he sucked badly this preseason. But once again, I don't think that they're going to move on from him because of the versatility that he provides. And they have a ton of young guys, inexperienced guys there on that O-line as well. So stay tuned. You never know. They may move on from him tomorrow. And I could be totally off base, but I don't see him getting cut at all. Salute to my guy, Nav, man. Appreciate you on a $10 special. Let's all remember that Geno has been proven to be very durable for a mobile quarterback. Not sure we have to get too crazy above and beyond. Cam for 5 to 8 weeks for AOC. Truth is, Geno gets hurt. Season's done anyways. This is facts. I mean, regardless, Nav, and this is something I think we all need to talk about a ton, right? If Geno goes down, regardless if it's Tyler Huntley, DTR, Aiden O'Connell, Cam Miller, we're going to suck regardless. It's going to be a tough season if Geno goes down. God forbid. Don't want to throw that into the universe. He has been durable. And I don't really want to call him a mobile quarterback, Nav. He is a pocket passer. He can use his legs if need be, but I think he's a pocket guy. I don't really consider him. You can call him a dual threat guy, but I think he prefers to stay in the pocket and not have to run. But I agree with you. If Geno goes down, we're 100% cooked. Doesn't matter who you bring in. Tannehill, Aiden, Cam Miller, Tyler Huntley, DTR, whoever it is, it's going to be nasty work. G-Town, nothing yet, but I think that they're going to protect him. I think that they'll put him on a practice squad. He has that international portal player roster spot on the practice squad. I believe if they activate him onto the active roster, I think the rule is that they can't utilize that international portal player spot anymore. But I think they're going to put him on a practice squad and develop him a little bit. I do believe so. No news on him yet. I know they're very high on him, but he is very raw. Not even just new to the position, but new to the game. So it's going to take some time for him to get accustomed to it. So he'll be on a practice squad. They'll develop him behind the scenes, and hopefully he becomes a gem for us down the line. Yeah, simple as that. This is the thing, and people don't want to hear this, and it is what it is. I like Geno a lot. Me and Wasted were talking about this on text yesterday, and people may bash me for this. And, oh, you're a fake fan. And look, can I keep it real with you guys? I like Geno Smith. When we brought him in, I didn't say I loved the move, but I liked the move. It made a ton of sense, right? I think he is very underrated. But honestly, I don't think we're going to win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith at the quarterback position anyways. Look, this is a couple years of trying to figure this thing out, you guys. This isn't bringing in Geno to win a championship, the missing piece. There's a lot of moving and shaking that we need on this roster, defensively specifically. If that O-line struggles this year, we struggle. Genty struggles. Geno struggles. I don't think we win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith. Can we? Maybe. I would love it. But honestly, I don't see that happening. We need to kind of temper our expectations down a little bit. Can we get to the playoffs? Definitely. Geno has never won a playoff game. He's been to the playoffs, never won a game. I think they got blown out by the Niners in his first playoff game with him and Pete in Seattle. But, this is a bridge situation with Geno Smith. It's just frustrating now because we don't have, Cam Miller may not be the guy. I don't know. But next year's draft class is way different with those young quarterbacks. There's a ton of them, and we're going to talk about those guys very, very soon. But I could be totally wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But I don't see it with Geno Smith at the quarterback position. I don't. And John Bailey, hey, you could be honest something, right? I'm writing them off. I'm not writing them off. I'm not writing them off. I like Geno. I think we can win a ton of ball games with Geno Smith. But, it's very tough when you look around the league, right? And you see the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. He's on a rookie deal. You see Buffalo with Josh Allen. He's just starting to hit, his stride as being a top 2 quarterback in football. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. You look around the league right now, there's a ton of teams with those guys. So we'll see. Let me see. But once again, this is not me shitting on Geno Smith, you guys. This is just me being honest as a Raider fan and saying, I don't know, if we can win a championship with Geno Smith at the quarterback position. And I don't understand why people keep saying that he hasn't had weapons. He's had weapons. He's had some really good wide receivers in Seattle. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, the young kid out of Ohio State last season. He's had some weapons out there. I know the O-line struggled last year. I know the ground game couldn't get rolling, but let's not act as though Geno didn't have, a nice cast of weapons out there in the passing game. We got to pump the brakes. And Lamar Jackson as well. Definitely. This might be the year. Lamar has a very, very deep roster, both on the defensive side of the football and offensively. They have a great coaching staff, great general manager. Look, if Lamar wants to win one, he needs to get it done this year, or it may never happen. But, once again, Raider show here, you guys. We're talking Raider football, but I have to be honest. It's going to be tough for us to, crack a Super Bowl with Geno Smith, especially with the existing roster that we have right now. There's some holes, especially on the defensive side of the football. We're going to be a very, very high-powered offense, you guys. I definitely believe in Chip Kelly and what we're going to do. I definitely think that he's going to unlock some great things with Geno Smith, but also, can we do it with a bend or break defense? We need those guys to stay healthy as well. We need Kuntz to hit his stride this year. We need Max to be able to stay healthy. We need those veterans on the second level of our defense to show up and show out. The Devin Whites of the world, the Jamal Adams of the world, and once again, those DBs, that secondary is low-key spooky right now. So, but we shall see. I hope I'm wrong. How concerned are you with the cornerback and safety rooms? Daniel, I think I just talked about that. They have looked wildly inconsistent so far. Some splash, but very inconsistent. Darcy eats hot dogs whole. I'm going to make sure to screenshot this and send it over to Darcy. I'm worried about it. Because once again, I've said this a million times. You're facing Patrick Mahomes twice a year. Bo Nix in year 2. He's looking to continue to get better. Then you got Justin Herbert. And then once again, you're facing a Super Bowl champion in Jalen Hurts. You got CJ Stroud this year. You're facing a lot of great quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels in week 3. You got Caleb Williams in week 4. These guys can potentially get scorched this season with all these quarterbacks that we're facing this year. So I'm very worried. And the thing that's more worrisome, Daniel, is there's not anybody out there that I think can save the day at the cornerback position for us. There's nobody out there unless you're looking to potentially make a trade. And we talked about Tariq Woolen. This is why I was so high on going to get Jalen Ramsey, you guys. I wish that we would have pulled the trigger on that move, because then it would have eased the blow a little bit going into the season, knowing that we have a veteran, a proven future Hall of Famer at the position out there in Jalen Ramsey. He sets the tone. The other young guys follow suit. That's why I wanted to bring in Jalen Ramsey. People thought I was tweaking. Oh, he's done for. He's not the same guy. Man, the guy played in 17 games, started in 17 games last season. He's durable. He wanted to be a Raider. I mean, I would have made the move. But there's not a ton of talent available out there right now, unless you're looking at the trade market. And it's very, very tough to see teams part ways with a potential number 1 corner this late in the game. So, we'll see. Salute to my brother Wasted in the building. Always good to see my brother Wasted. We got to get that show rolling in the next few days, man. The Graphk and Wasted and Graphk show will be back very, very soon. You guys stay tuned. Maybe we do one tomorrow night, going over all the cuts. I'm going to call my brother after this, and we'll definitely tap in. No, Savage. No. Look, bro. No. Shiloh is a walking time bomb, bro. He can get hurt on any hit. He's very undersized, and he does not fit what Pete Carroll and Graham are trying to do defensively. I don't see it. There's a reason why Tampa Bay cut him. Marvin says Sincere needs to be cut. I disagree with you. I think he will be cut, but I don't think he needs to be cut at all. The thing is, when you bring in a talent like Ashton Genty, the writing is on the wall for everybody. And then you bring in Raheem Mostert, a veteran guy that just 2 seasons ago, led the league in touchdowns, had over 1,000 yards rushing, and had like 21 touchdowns overall, right? So it was going to be a tough job to keep anyways with Sincere McCormick. In a perfect world, they're going to keep Zeus. Zeus is their guy. He's their guy. They like Zeus a ton. He is going to make this roster. It's going to be Genty. It's going to be Zeus. It's going to be Raheem Mostert, and I think it's going to be Dylan. And, hopefully they can play Sincere on the practice squad and keep him around. But I don't think they need to cut him. I just think that because of the depth that we have there, he'll end up being cut, which sucks because he showed some signs of life last year for us in the ground game. He was one of the only bright spots for us last season, with the worst ground attack in football. Salute to Nav. Laki Tassi can be activated up to 3 times. That's what it is. The active roster from the practice squad, according to IPP rules, but must be one of 53, just to clarify. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Salute to Nav, man. Appreciate you, brother, on the $5. And thank you for clarifying, my brother. Salute to Heat Check, my dog. What's up, Graphk? Good morning. Once the game slows down for Genty, he's going to go crazy. Drafted him with my first pick in Fantasy League yesterday. You know what's funny, Heat? You're going to be fine. And I don't think that you need to that we need to worry about the game slowing down. He's just that good. I don't think that he needs to look. Genty is Genty, dog. He was drafted number 6 for a reason. He had over 2,000 yards rushing last season for a reason in Boise State. This dude is a stud, bro. There's a reason he was the number 1 running back off the board in this last draft. The game doesn't need to slow down at all. Genty is going to be Genty. I promise you. He checked from day 1. Genty is going to be a dog, bro. It's going to be a dog. Top 5 running back in football. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Period, point blank, the end. So I don't think that the game needs to slow down for him at all. At all. Yeah, I think so as well, M. Raider. I just said that, man. I think that they're going to keep Snowden for sure. They're definitely going to keep Charles Snowden. I feel like we're thin at the defensive end position. In a perfect world, we would keep Andre Carter as well. But I think that, they want to get him a little bit more bulked up. He's really thin, tall, thin. I think they want to put him on a practice squad and get him right. Get him right. He could be a guy that could potentially show up for us next season. Put him on the practice squad, develop him a little bit, get him in, get him on a crazy diet, get him in the weight room, get him right. Andre Carter could be a stud for us down the line. One Nation, we're not going to. I don't see us bringing Carter Bradley back. They moved on from him for a reason. I know he had a good 4th quarter against us, little revenge game for us. But I don't see him coming back at all. Yeah, Justice, this is facts. He's definitely going to be on the 53. There's no way around it. No way around it. Let me see. Rich says, so Graphk, if we are in a position to draft to get a quarterback, who would you get? And do we get a quarterback or corner from Texas? I believe that's where he's from. What do you mean, Rich? Elaborate in the chat before I answer that, brother. But there's a few guys out there. We talked about the kid at Penn State a ton. Drew Allar. The kid from LSU went back for another season. I always butcher his name. Is it Newsom Moyer or whatever the hell? And then I love the kid Sellers at South Carolina. This is going to be a really, really good quarterback class. If you get an opportunity, Rich, you have to get your quarterback next year in next year's class. Definitely over the cornerback position. You could find another corner there in the 2nd round, 3rd round if need be. So is Zeus the running back too or Mostert? Look, I think that they're going to use Zeus as kind of a change of back, kind of running back, more of a, thunder to their lightning, so to speak. I think it's going to be kind of a 2-headed monster at the running back 2 position. I think Mostert and Zeus will kind of split reps there. But if I had to bet, I think Zeus is going to be the 2nd guy. Mostert is 33 years old, you guys. So, but I do believe that they'll kind of split reps there at the running back 2 position. So if I'm a betting man, Zeus is probably the number 2. He's on a rookie deal. He's still really young. He was very serious this offseason, got his body together. He'll probably be the number 2 guy. But I still think that him and Mostert has familiarity with Chip Kelly, their time together with the Niners. I think they'll kind of split snaps there as a running back too, but it's probably going to be Zeus. Probably going to be Zeus. I think, okay, a ton of the people in the chat agree here. It's going to be Zeus. Salute to my guy, G-Town, man. Time to start scouting the top cornerbacks in the 2026 draft. Facts. The thing is, G-Town, I'm not too much worried about it. We got Pete Carroll in the building. He's been proven to be able to find these guys, especially in the later rounds. So I'm not too much worried about it. It took, Witherspoon a few years ago. He's a stud. Pete he knows how to draft DBs. That's why I trust the process with Darian Porter. It's going to probably take a little time for him to get adjusted, to the NFL and still to the position as a whole. He's only been there for 2 years, I believe. But I trust Pete Carroll. I think he's going to find some gems in the next few draft classes at the cornerback position. I'm not too much worried about it. Let me see. My brother LV, Docs, does any of the 5 teams ahead of us on the waiver wire need a quarterback? Giants, no. Tennessee, no. They got Cam Ward. I don't see them going in any other direction. And I think they brought in another veteran as well, right? What other teams are there? Is it Cleveland? Definitely doesn't. They have every quarterback under the sun. Jacksonville, I don't think they do. I don't think too many teams need a quarterback in front of us. I don't think so. What teams were in front of us, you guys, in this draft class? It was Tennessee, the Giants. Is it Jacksonville, the Browns, New England? Those are the 5 teams, I believe. I don't think any of them need a quarterback. Honestly. Let me see. Gio, we'll do a show on that, brother, once we see all the cuts. Once we see the cuts and we see them start forming that practice squad, we'll do a show on that. We'll probably talk about it, like crazy tomorrow. We'll probably have 2 or 3 shows tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. I just want to see what they're doing first. I want to see who makes the practice squad before I kind of talk about who they should potentially protect there. Let me see. Raiders guy says, Graphk, do you think we seek in the playoffs? Wait. God, what you mean? You think we're gonna make the playoffs this year? Honestly, if I'm a betting man, I think we're gonna be kind of on the outside looking in, that 9-8 range, potentially 10-7. If we can win 10 games, we can potentially sneak in as a wild card. But look, man, I just want to win more games, Raider God, than last year. That's it. I want to build on those 4 wins. Let's focus on winning some ball games this year. I just want to remain in the mix all season long. When the trade deadline comes up, I want us to be a team that has to think about potentially making a move to get this team better, to improve this roster. You know what I mean? So I'm going to pump the brakes on the playoffs talk here. But, once again, I think, honestly, we could be on the outside looking in or potentially sneaking as a wild card. Maybe. But I just want to go out there and win some games. Let me see. Salute, man, to everybody here in the building. As always, Zy Alexander cut by the Bills. I thought he was having a good preseason. That's a kid that I liked a ton out of LSU. Definitely, man. That's a name to monitor moving forward. Maybe we can bring him in. Bring back Marcus Mariota. William, that's a name that a lot of people aren't mentioning right now. Chip Kelly has a ton of familiarity and experience with him, right? Mariota's always injured, though. You know what I mean? But if he's the backup, I'm not against that. Let me see. So I want to see where is Marcus Mariota right now? Is he not on a roster? Is he still a free agent? Oh, he's with the Commanders. So he's still over there. He is a Commander right now. So, and I don't see them moving off from him. He's a great mentor behind Jaden Daniels. So I don't see them moving on from him. But that would have been an interesting name. Once again, man, salute to everybody here in the building. As always, I appreciate you guys. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing, man? Hit that subscribe button. We got 1,500 people in here rocking with me this morning. Get those subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe button. Get those up, man. We want to get to 30K here very, very soon. I don't think you guys realize, man, that specific number helps the algorithm, gets us in certain looks. Get us to 30K, man. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell also to keep updated with the channel, man. Stidham is in Denver. Hey, he's not going anywhere. And they gave him a new deal. Kyle McCord, I like him. They're not going to bring in another young quarterback. They're not. They already have one in Cam Miller. I don't think that they bring in another 6th-round rookie with Cam Miller already in the roster. I like McCord, Gio. I would have loved to draft him in that class, but they're not going to bring in another young guy. They're just not. I don't see it. They're going to go bring in a veteran, a guy that has been in the league for at least a few seasons. No, but he can be our emergency quarterback for sure. He could be that emergency quarterback 3, either him or Jacoby. You know, Jacoby played a ton of quarterback in his past as well. So one of those guys probably will be the emergency quarterback going into the season. But I could see it being Tommy Mellott. You know, he's played the position a lot more recently than Jacoby Myers. So maybe he will be the emergency guy. But I haven't seen any film, or I haven't got any updates of him out there getting any reps at the quarterback position during training camp. He definitely didn't get it in preseason. So I don't know if they're looking at him as that guy that could potentially be that emergency guy. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Vegas, that's my guy right now. It's Tyler Huntley. That's the guy I would bring in to back up Geno right now. If I'm John Spytek. If I'm Spytek, I'm bringing in Tyler Huntley. Personally. I know some people will say, well, he couldn't even make the Browns roster over Shador and Gabriel and Pickett. I'm not looking at that. They signed so many quarterbacks in Cleveland. Tyler Huntley never had an opportunity. He never had a chance to make that roster. He was never going to make that roster from day one. He was a camp body for the Cleveland Browns. Let me see. Raiders God, it's not going to happen. Dallas is just not going to move on from Micah. Not going to move on from Micah. I don't see it happening. I know that their head coach is about to speak to him about his shenanigans, you know, on the sidelines, laying on the medical table and all that stuff. And I know that Jerry has stated it over and over. They're not moving on from him. I don't see it. Taino, nothing on Kobe yet. Nothing. I know that there's been talks of them being at the bargaining table, you know, them discussing a new deal. Nothing has materialized just yet. So it's still the waiting game with Jacoby here. So we'll see. We'll see. Hector, that'd be great, right? Tom Brady, emergency quarterback. That'd be phenomenal. That'd be phenomenal. Yeah, Kyle, we talked about Amari Gaynor being released earlier on in the show. For sure. Jerry was pissed by the agent. Yeah, shove his con. And it was funny is the agent came out and said that he never said that. So that's what's so funny, man. You got to take anything that Jerry says with a grain of salt. Like he's just an old messy motherfucker. Like he'll tell you first, hey, I just want to be in the headlines. He's an old messy motherfucker, and he just be rambling too. I was at this coaching clinic not too long ago when I got a chance to meet Jerry. He seemed like a really good dude. But, man, he was rambling. We were sitting there like, what in the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, honestly, bro, I had no clue what the fuck he was talking about my mama and the meals we used to eat. And I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything that's going on right now? I'm sitting over here eating my barbecue on the field, watching Jerry just literally talk about nothing. It was the weirdest shit in the world. But does Scary Terry deal mean Myers is worth it? No, you're not giving Jacoby anywhere near what Scary Terry got. 3 year, $96 million deal. You're not giving – Jacoby knows he's not getting anything near that at all. Jacoby would be somewhere in that $20 million range. He's not looking anywhere near that $30 to $32 million range. It's not happening at all. You know, Jacoby to me is somewhere in that, you know, 17 to 20 range per season for me, you know, and they may have him just play out his contract. We'll see. Tone says 3 years, 45, $50 million for Cole. Okay. Okay. So you try to give him 15. I think that's underselling Cole a little bit. The 50, I could see that. I could see that. I'd probably give him somewhere in that 3-year, $60 million range. Give him, half of it guaranteed. Give him 30 mil guaranteed, and just, get that guarantee money out of the way the first 2 years. Why not? Why not? 3 years, $60 million deal, 30 million guaranteed. Get rid of that guaranteed money in the first 2 seasons. And then, that 3rd year, you hold all the power as the Raiders if you want to hold on to them or move off them. Raider for life, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not doubling back to Jack Jones. And if you get a chance to watch some of the tape that he put on display out there in Miami, he's still there. He's still under contract. I don't know if they hold on to him. They're they have no depth at the cornerback position, but he was getting absolutely destroyed. If you get a chance, go check out the joint practice with the Detroit Lions. Jack Jones looked like he's never played the position before. And I'm a Jack fan. Salute to Jack, good dude. But he was getting absolutely deep fried out there against those Detroit Lion wide receivers. It was nasty, nasty work. Former Raider great. LV. I don't think they're looking anywhere near Petco, man. At all. Let me see. Bailey says Taysom Hill. That'd be fun. That would be really fun to watch Taysom Hill. He's still under contract, though, in New Orleans. Let me see. All right, I'm going to get this off the screen. I wanted to read something real quick as well. I'm going to put something on screen here in a second, you guys. Stay tuned. I want to see if there's any updated cuts here. We talked about Gotti and Chris Collier potentially being waived here soon. And then Amari Ferrari also put a tweet out there, you guys, that it looks as though he's on his way out of Las Vegas. So stay tuned for that. Browns don't need Pickett. Let's offer a 6th-rounder. They traded for him initially, so I think they're going to hold on to him. He's still really young. I'm not a fan of Kenny Pickett and small-ass hands. My germs. I don't want Mr. My Germs. I'm cool. I am cool. I want nothing to do with bringing in Kenny Pickett. I would rather have Shador, Gabriel, or Flacco. I do not want anything to do with Kenny Pickett at all. I am smooth off of that. Keep an eye on Trey Flowers for the Raiders, cut by the Bears. Okay. Another guy you could potentially bring in, another veteran that can help us out on the defensive side of the ball. John, they're not moving on from him. They're not moving on from Trey Lance. I'll tell you right now, Harbaugh is going to hold on to Trey Lance, and he's going to develop him behind the scenes. And watch what Harbaugh does with Trey Lance. People forget this dude did not play a ton of football, leading up to the NFL draft. The Niners just overdrafted him. Watch Harbaugh develop him behind the scenes. I would not be shocked if Herbert struggled or went down with an injury and Trey Lance came in and balled out for them. I would not be shocked at all. Savage, you may not have to trade for Zach Wilson. From what I heard, he's been struggling out there in Miami. They may move on from him. Maybe they keep Ewers, and they move on from Zach Wilson. If they do that, I would definitely bring in Zach Wilson as the backup. That's a guy that we were talking about a ton to potentially bring in free agency during the offseason. I would have definitely took a look at him. Let me see. Hey, Taino, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, there's a ton of cuts going on around the league. I'm going to look real quick and see if there's anything else that's updated. Boom. I'm looking right now on Twitter, you guys. It's not a ton of names right now to keep an eye on so far. Okay, the Raiders have begun informing players they have been released. Vinny B tweeted that 39 minutes ago, and this comes off of him sharing the tweet from Amari Ferrari. That he's excited in the next step in his journey. So we are slowly moving on. Adam Scheffner put it out there. The Bears waived Miller Bradford, DB, Xavier Carlton, defensive lineman, DB Alex Cook, Power Echols, the linebacker out of North Carolina, DB Caleb Hayes, quarterback Austin Reed, running back Ian Willer, tight end Joel Wilson, and then they got Trey Flowers on there. The veteran former Oregon guy Royce Freeman, and then offensive lineman Joshua Miles. I'm going over here to Adam's channel. I want to see also no sign of Micah Parsons during the open portion of practice to the media. So it sounds as though he's still playing hardball with Jerry Jones. The Niners waived Carter Bradley. We just talked about that. Tanner Mordecai waived defensive lineman Jalen Allen, defensive lineman Shaquille Brown, released running back Kashawn Vaughn, and then placed offensive lineman Isaiah Prince on the injured reserve. Saints moved on earlier this morning from Cam Akers. That's a name that will probably find a job elsewhere. He's kind of struggled these last few seasons staying on a roster, but we'll see. They moved on from James Burnett, wide receivers Roderick Daniels Jr., Moochie Dixon, Josh Sheen, Davis, Jeremiah Martin. There's a ton of no big names out there right now, you guys, at all. Tampa released veteran linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. Okay. He's been on the PUP list, but it's said to be that he's healthy and ready to go. So keep an eye on him. But other than that, there's nothing really going on right now in terms of cuts. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I wanted to bring this up real quick, y'all. Yes, salute to my brother CGR, man. Hit that link up top to become a member, man. If you guys want to become Green Dot Gang, that is one of the best ways to support what we do over here, you guys. Real talk. Outside of sharing the links and sending supers and stuff, becoming a member, it definitely helps us keep the lights on. Salute to my guy, CGR. I want to share this real quick because me and Hammer did our projected 53-man roster the other day, and I want to put this up real quick. Tashawn Reed put one out there on The Athletic. This is from the nytimes.com. I kind of wanted to go over his list compared to ours, you guys. So stay tuned. For those who didn't watch the show with me and Hammer the other day, run it back. I actually have a screenshot of our final 53, but things have changed also, right? Aiden's out. So there's that. Also, a few players didn't play up to the standard against the Arizona Cardinals. So there may be a few changes within our 53-man roster. But salute to Sean Reed. He just put this up. This is his projected quarterback room, which is pretty easy right now. Geno, depth, Cam Miller, Aiden O'Connell. Aiden's going to start on the IR. Cuts, none. Yeah, we're not going to cut any of these guys, but we will probably bring a veteran in. So keep an eye on this room. Nothing really to see here. Aiden is projected to miss 6 to 8 weeks, according to Pete Carroll. So we're here to monitor the Aiden O'Connell thing moving forward, but I think we're going to cut him once he is good to go. I really believe we're going to move on from Aiden O'Connell regardless. Running back, same list as ours. Genty's the starter. Zamir White, Raheem Mostert, Dylan Laube. We cut Sincere, Chris Collier. It'd be great to put Sincere back on the practice squad. I agree with that. With Laube, the special teams abilities, I don't think that they move on from Dylan. He is a Chip Kelly type of guy. Receivers, this is interesting. He has us only keeping 5 wide receivers. I don't see this at all. I think we at least carry 6. Dante, Tucker, Jacoby are the starters. Jack Besh and Tommy Mellott. So the rookies are going to be depth there. The young kid out of TCU, Tommy Mellott, the young quarterback moving over to wide receiver. But he cuts Bachman, Shedrick Jackson, Philip Dorsett, Colin Johnson, Marquez Callaway, Keytron Jackson Jr. I disagree with this. I think we keep Alex Bachman. I think he'll be the 6th wide receiver. I don't think there's in any way, shape, or form we keep 5 wide receivers. Alex Bachman has also had a really good preseason and great training camp. I think we keep Shedrick on the practice squad. We bring him back. Maybe Colin Johnson on the practice squad also. But Bachman, to me, is going to make this roster. I don't see in any world where we keep 5 wide receivers. I don't think that makes any sense, honestly. But this is, once again, Tashawn Reed's list. Tight end, this is pretty easy. Brock, Mayer, Ian Thomas. I agree. I think we move on from all these guys. Albert O, Shorter, Ishmael, and Carter Runyon. I do believe that they will put Carter Runyon on the practice squad. He's had a really good preseason. I'm hearing really good things from him out of training camp as well. Maybe they hold on to him, put him there on the practice squad and develop him a little bit. O-line, Colton, Dillon, Meredith, Jackson Powers Johnson, Glaze starters. Nothing changes there. Depth, Kappa, Munford, Rogers, Charles Grant, Laki Tassi. Okay, so they have Tassi. He has Tassi as a guy that makes the 53-man roster. I didn't have him there. I have him on the practice squad, and I think that they develop him behind the scenes. The only difference was that I had Antonio Mafi, and he has Laki Tassi. Mafi struggled against the Arizona Cardinals. I know there's some familiarity with him and Chip Kelly from UCLA, so maybe they move on from him as well. But I do believe it's going to be a guard regardless. So if it's Laki Tassi, great. If it's Antonio Mafi, great. But I think that he got it right here. But I had Mafi over Tassi because I think they're going to put him on a practice squad. So, and then they had us moving on from Wagner, Hufford, Putnam, Parker Clements, and Gotti, which it looks as though he'll be gone here pretty soon. Defensive line, Max Butler, Thomas Booker, Malcolm Kuntz. We know what that looks like. Depth, Tyree, Jonah Lalu, Lucky Fotu. So we had him initially starting off on the IR, because once again, he was in a boot pretty much the whole offseason, but he was out there in preseason. So I think we're going to hold on to him. I think Tashawn got this right. Pegues, definitely. Tonka Hemingway, definitely. Snowden, definitely. So cuts, Joyner, Carter, Andre Carter, which sucks because I really would like to keep him on this roster. Tank Booker, Keandre Coburn, Trevon Mai, I always butcher his name. He's had a pretty good preseason and offseason as well. Jafari Harvey, and then OVO is out of here. Linebackers, I agree with this. This is the exact names that we kept. Landon, Devin White, Jermaine Pratt, Jamal Adams, Tommy Eichenberg. We carry 5. It looks like Amari's already on the way out. I think Lindenberg will be on a practice squad. They move on from Jalen Smith, the veteran who missed all season last year, took the entire season off. He's getting a little long in the tooth. I think we move on from him as well. And there you go. Cuts, Gaynor, Lindenberg, Smith, Barrett, Matt Jones. Agreed. Corner, keep Stokes, Darian Porter. Depth, Caillou Blue Kelly, definitely. He had a really good offseason. Pete Carroll's high on him. DCAM, definitely Darnay Holmes. So he has us keeping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners, cutting JT Woods, Greedy Vance, Sam Webb, and John Humphrey. That's interesting. I think I had us keeping 7 and holding on to JT Woods and Greedy Vance. So he has us keeping 5 corners here, which is very, very interesting because essentially you only really kept, 1 nickel corner there with Darnay Holmes. I know once again he's keeping Terrell Edmonds down there as depth, and he'll kick in at that big nickel look. You can see Chin playing there as well, Palomau in different looks. But he moved on from a ton of guys, keeping 5 corners, which is interesting. Safeties, Chin, Palomau, we already know that's the starters. Depth, Terrell Edmonds, I think he's going to make this team. Chris Smith, Lonnie Johnson Jr., he'll start off on the IR, but he will be on this roster. And then he's cutting Trey Taylor, Thomas Harper, and Hudson Clark. I think the one guy that I chose to keep on this roster is my guy, Trey Taylor. I think we agree with the Thomas Harper and Hudson Clark. And then I think we agree with the other guys as well. Specialist, Easy, Carlson, AJ Cole, Jacob Moore. So a little bit of difference of opinion here with Tashawn Reed over at The Athletic. Again, don't hate the list, but keeping 5 corners and only 5 wide receivers is definitely an interesting take, but we shall see. We shall see if this holds any weight moving forward. And once again, we'll know tomorrow, you guys, 1 p.m. Eastern is the time where all 53-man rosters need to be shaped and formed. So stay tuned. Get rid of that. Boom. Okay, talked about the 53-man projections. And once again, no active cuts right now, you guys, outside of Ferrari. So, and Scout did put it out there that we're planning to waive tackle Gotti, Zeke, and running back Chris Collier, which makes a ton of sense. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, man, there's nothing else really to talk about. If anything else happens or transpires today, you guys, stay tuned. We will be here every step of the way. I will be having a very lengthy coffee and convo tomorrow. We're going to be covering the entire cuts, you guys. So I'm thinking about starting my live maybe 10 a.m. Central Time and go live for at least 2 or 3 hours tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If there's any more questions you guys want to talk about, please Put them in the comments section before we get out of here. We're about to hit that hour and a half mark. I got some things I need to do today, get my workout in, get some things situated around the house. Hector, man, look, I just want him to perform well, man. I don't want to compare him to anybody. I don't want to, hope that he can do Genty numbers in his rookie season. I just want him to go out there and perform well. I want him to have over 1,000 yards rushing. I want him to put up, somewhere in that 500 to 600 range in the passing game. And I just want him to be a stud. So, Desert, from last I checked, I thought it was 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern. Let me look this up. Cuts deadline, NFL. Oh, shit. You're right. 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so it's 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, cool. So that'll give us a little bit more time, you guys, to put the show together tomorrow. So 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So we'll do the show probably around 1 o'clock Central time. And we'll just run like a 2-hour, 3-hour long show. So there you go. Thank you guys for correcting me on that. I thought it was 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that works. 1 p.m. Pacific time. But yeah, man. But other than that, you guys, love and appreciate every single one of you. Salute to the 1,500 people here in the building. Still rocking. Once again, we went over JPJ. He will be our starting right guard this season. Pete Carroll put it out there on his presser, and it looks as though we're looking for a veteran quarterback, you guys. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on DTR, who was just cut from the Philadelphia Eagles. Keep an eye on Tyler Huntley, a.k.a. Snoop Huntley. Cleveland just let him go. There's some young guys that were just released, Kyle McCord and a few other names, but I do not believe they're going to go with the young, inexperienced quarterback when they already have one on the roster. So I think they're going to go with more of a veteran guy. Vinny B mentioned Ryan Tannehill. I don't see that happening at all. But, only time will tell. Stay tuned for that. I do want to do this on the way out, you guys. I don't want to leave just yet. I didn't give any game balls. For the Arizona game. On the way out, we're going to make this really quick. It was a tough game to watch. I'm not going to give away too many because it was nasty. I mean, Cam Miller had a disgusting game. Aiden looked really bad out there before the hand injury. Geno looked really good, 2 for 3, 26 yards and a touchdown. I'll give Geno a game ball, even though he didn't play a ton. I want to give Zamir White a game ball, 9 carries, 42 yards. He looked really good out there, averaged 4.7 a clip. I'm excited to see what Zamir White looks like in this system. It looks as though he is going to make this roster, and it looks like Chip Kelly and company have major expectations for Zamir White this upcoming season. Definitely want to give Ian Thomas a game ball, 2 catches for 27 yards. He averaged 13.5 a clip. He had a long of 18. He continues to shine out there as your third tight end. Dante Thornton, clear cut, gets a game ball, 2 catches, 26 yards. He had a beautiful touchdown from Geno Smith there in the end zone. Man, I don't even know how he made it happen. Really, like got both feet in. Beautiful touchdown by Dante Thornton. Outside of that, I don't want to give away too many game balls. I want to give my guy Trey Taylor one at the end of the game. He was getting some reps, 4 total tackles, 3 solo. I know he didn't get a ton of burn in this game, but he was out there at the end of the game. He had a really great play where he kind of pushed Ja Joyner in on the defensive line and blew up the play behind the line of scrimmage. I want to give Trey some flowers. And then also, this is easy. I want to give Max Crosby one. He's in rare form already in preseason. He had a beautiful tackle for a loss where he absolutely blew the running back up. So I want to give him a game ball as well. But yeah, other than that, you guys, nasty game. I'm just happy preseason is over and we can get ready and prepared for New England. Week 1 is a few weeks away. Let's get it rolling. Salute to everybody here in the building on the way out. Wipe them feet, hit that subscribe button, and salute to everybody once again listening on Spotify and Apple Podcast. If you can, you guys, go over there, download the podcasts, run those numbers up. They definitely help us in terms of sponsorships and advertising. So go over there, subscribe, do all that good stuff on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just put OLV Raiders Network and you will find us over there. Other than that, love. We are out. One.